New year. Same me. I've made no attempt to change anything about myself. And I look like a gray Power Ranger, so that's good. Hi everyone, welcome back. This is the 4th episode of Slightly Kosher. I already hate how I look, that's okay. I was so excited that you guys were cooking along with me over the holidays. Thank you so much for sending me pictures of brisket and latkes, and nobody made jelly donuts, but that's okay. I forgive you all, I'm a very forgiving spirit. Today, we are making our first non-holiday specific food, and that is falafel. It's not something that a lot of people make at home. You probably have gone out to get it at a street cart or a fast food restaurant or something like that. I actually have family who had a falafel restaurant, so that's why we're making it at home. I can show you it's really not that hard. I say this like I've done it before. I've not. We're converting a restaurant recipe into a home version today. Either way, I think it's gonna be great and warm and crispy and delicious. So I'm excited to show you. Welcome back, let's go. Part of the reason falafel is so popular across the Middle East, particularly in Israel, is because there's no meat. So it's kind of like a parv food for those who don't know, which I'm going to assume is about 98% of you. Parv is a food that does not have meat or dairy in it, which means if you are super observant of the laws of kashrut, yeah, I came into 2021 knowing my shit. I hope you're not surprised. If you are super observant and you keep a kosher household, you can eat falafel with pretty much anything else you're eating. You don't need to worry about the separation of meat and dairy. What you need to make falafel at home: dried chickpeas, not canned chickpeas. I have been told that is absolutely sacrilegious. That was the word that was used. It came to me from Israel. So dried chickpeas only. You need a large white onion. If you're into red peppers, you should get a few red bell peppers. I'm not. I think peppers are disgusting, and also they f me up. So no peppers here today. You need about like half a head of garlic, cumin, some coriander, a lot of salt, some cilantro and parsley. Oh, and a bunch of oil to fry it with. When's the last time you ate a falafel? Did we get the halal guys recently?
Probably in Paris.
In Paris? That was just such a bougie answer. In Paris. All right, we're gonna try, Liz. You're on the treadmill?
Yes, elliptical. The joy of a good falafel bowl is that it comes out of the fryer very hot and crispy on the outside and moist and delicious on the inside. And even when you reheat them, it's not the same.
Uncle Jack said this was Eliezer. Is that the cousin he worked with?
Yes, he partnered with our cousin Eliezer.
So we're gonna attempt to make falafel. Thank you so much.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, love you.
I love you.
Bye.
Love you too.
So, I'm realizing now she gave me 0 tips as to how to actually do that. So we're just gonna go off of what Aaron told us via text message and hope that it all works out. Ahead of time, really the first thing you wanna do, it's just thicker than anticipated, nothing more, is take those dried chickpeas I talked about. You are not to use canned chickpeas. You will be smited by God if that is the case. And you are to soak them overnight in a huge bowl with about 3 inches of water covering them. That's what we did with these bad boys, which smells so potently at this point after soaking for, I think it's like 18 hours. Like really, if you dumped out canned chickpeas and then just took a good whiff from the inside of the can, that's what these smell like now. And they're just gonna soak up all of that water pretty much in its entirety. You're gonna drain them, rinse them really, really well. So what I'm gonna do is chop this half of this very large onion into quarters. Great, yay. While we continue talking, I am going to peel some garlic. Thank you. Anything to say?
No.
No? Can you do something with this as well? For later? Okay. Could you please pick that up? Thank you so much. All right, so what we're doing now is peeling cloves of garlic. Let's say 4 cloves. Yeah, that's 4. I'll give it a 5th, just for funsies. I don't think I've said one compelling thing this whole time. Do you think this Eileen Fisher cord looked better on the 75-year-old model on the website?
Yeah, I think it looks good on you. I think it fits your brand.
What's that?
Just drab.
Do you know what drab means?
Nope.
Are you breathing heavily? yes, our children will be 5'3" one day. What we're gonna do now, because my cousin was very explicit about really imparting as much of the herb flavor from the, let's say, herbs into the falafel as possible, we are going to put a lot of cilantro and a lot of parsley into a tiny food processor, which is much easier for everyone to handle. Then we're gonna take a few spoonfuls of that, ideally like the juicy bits at the bottom of the food processor, and we're going to put it in the big one along with all of the vegetables. He had mentioned that when you're making this in bulk, he being my cousin Aaron, that he would just throw, I think he said 3 to 4 just gigantic bunches of entire leaves, stems, whatever, the entirety of the cilantro and the parsley into the blender. So what we're gonna do, instead of those 3 to 4 bunches, is go with about 3 to 4 tablespoons. That's really how far we're taking down the recipe. This is another one of those things where you can't see what I'm doing, but I expect people to be able to follow along.
Well, I think
Helpful. How do I get my energy up?
you just gotta start acting excited.
You have to start acting more excited. Okay, I'm so excited about this falafel we're making.
What?
Oh, I was gonna kiss you.
It's not
Oh, excuse me.
It's not for the
Excuse
public.
me. Okay. I will take a pandemic lover. Give me that parsley. Okay, that is fantastic. It already smells great in here. My other New Year's resolution was to learn how to assemble a food processor, which I will do with confidence and poise. Are you kidding me? Oh my God. So what we're gonna do is essentially use this as a juicer of sorts. Like if we have done it correctly, it'll be like really pasty, fine, almost liquidy, which is to say we're gonna just destroy it. Oh, do you smell it?
Could add some olive oil, vinegar, chili pepper, and you got a nice little chimichurri.
Shut the up. Oh, no, it's getting a little juicy in there. Did you know that parsley smells disgusting? It's like sharp almost. Why does a smell come out of here? We're gonna put the juiciest parts of that into this thing. Onion, grind. Chickpea, grind. Garlic, grind. More, grind. Spice, 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 spice. Chickpea, chickpea, chickpea. Hurricane. You can see it's just kind of like all congealed into a lump. An herb pile. Still smells disgusting. What we're gonna do with the remaining herbs is not throw them away. I've told June many times that all I want is for her to be proud of me, and I think this would make her proud. We're going to use this to dress an Israeli salad later. A lot of people use a binding agent when it comes to falafel. They'll put a few tablespoons of flour in there, some baking soda in the chickpeas while they're soaking overnight. Not in this particular Palestinian recipe. It's all just gonna kind of bind itself, I guess. We'll find out. Or it will all tragically fall apart when we start to fry it. But okay. In the meantime, let's start by putting half of our half of onion in there. I just did this. Okay. This is the only option left, so. Is it supposed to click? This is stuff of nightmares.
What did you do?
I don't. That sounded like an accusation. That's really not what I need right now. Okay.
It's a lot.
You're watching my greatest fantasy play out in real time. So immensely satisfying for me. Do you want to tell everyone what your qualifications as a medical professional are?
No, let me set this up.
Would you like me to cut it for minimal humiliation?
No.
No, okay. Great.
Oh, I got it. This was on backwards. This. Okay, for everyone who has.
Oh, yes.
Whoever.
Let's turn it into a lesson.
This is how you do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna.
Okay, what we're going to do, I have to unlock it to show. I can't. Okay, so another trick when you are in this step of combining is that you don't want to pulse everything too decisively, that there should be a good bit of chunk inside your falafel when you cut in, which means no part of it should be pureed. It should be rather like dicey, like a good dice. We're gonna continue to add chickpeas at almost every turn. And we're gonna stop ourselves before it becomes pasty. More onions, more chickpeas. Oh God. Did I mention, by the way, that it's a cup and 3/4 of chickpeas? There we go.
That looks good.
It almost looks like a fine like couscous. We'll add our garlic. We'll add more chickpeas. I'm just gonna do all of it. I'm gonna hold one. More. That's fine. Okay, now it smells less like inside of a chickpea can and more like garlic, which we love. Yeah, I can see why this recipe doesn't really need a binding agent. It is kind of balling up on its own, which is great. It is at this point that we are going to go ahead and add a lot of salt, 2 full tablespoons of salt. I'm gonna go with heaping tablespoons because I think that is the right choice. Kosher salt, obviously, but if you wanna go ahead and use your fancy salt, fine. I truly feel nothing about that. Am I recording? Okay, I am. 1.5 tablespoons of cumin. I'm gonna do this like leveled out, almost exactly that. 1 tablespoon of coriander. Just poured out all over your kitchen counter. That's the right way to do it. Okay. Ready? I just worry people are gonna think there's something really wrong with me. Okay, I think that looks great. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how you can see chunks of just about everything in there. I wasn't recording any of it.
Classic.
Why am I so bad at this? Anyway.
I'm a talented chef. I know what I'm doing.
I'm gonna put a Dutch oven filled with canola oil on the stove, heat it to 325 degrees. We're gonna ball these up. I'm gonna use a cookie scoop. That's not typically what you'd use. There is something called like a falafel baller. Use that if you have it. If not, ours are just gonna be perfectly shaped little.
If you don't have canola oil, could you use another type of oil, or would it affect the flavor of the falafel?
Who do you think you are? But yeah, we're gonna dump them in the oil for about 3 minutes. They're gonna be really crispy. And while they're cooling, we're gonna chop up some Israeli salad, eat it all together. I'm gonna take the falafel mixture and like pack it into the cookie scoop, put it directly into the oil. When it starts to rise, each of the balls, which will be about 3 minutes in, and they get a bit darker on the outside, that's how you know they're done. Finally time to eat these. I'm very excited and very hungry. And I do hope that anyone who was confounded at the thought of DIY falafel now can see that if I can do it, truly anyone can, which I think is the thesis of this whole show. Falafel, Israeli salad, which by the way is diced up cucumber, some tomato, the rest of those herbs we used for the inside of the falafel, lemon juice, olive oil, salt, pepper, mix. Oh, and a drizzle of tahini on top, which Aaron said was mandatory.
Store-bought is fine.
Okay. That is phenomenally salty and crispy. It is still intact in the middle, which is so much fun to eat because not only are you getting crunches on the outside, there is some crunch in the middle too, which don't you want when you're eating something slightly greasy? It tastes so much of the cumin, so much of the coriander. It's so nice to eat with fresh veggies. Perfect for snacking. We're gonna eat it for lunch. Perfect drunk food. We're not drunk. Maybe we are. You wouldn't be able to tell. It is really just like enjoying your very own, like savory Malamar. Like, ow. You hear it?
Best thing you've ever made.
Best thing I've ever made. That said, this has been so much fun. I do think we're gonna take a break from deep fried Jewish foods. And I think maybe we'll go like the baking route or the stovetop route for the next few episodes, as my body parts and psyche need a break from frying. So with that, mazel to me, mazel to you. What else do I normally say? This is Slightly Kosher. I'm a genius. I guess you can be too. Has been real.